So imagine this scenario. It's 2 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You are in a deep sleep, and your phone rings, just completely shattering the silence. You fumble for it, your heart is pounding, and on the other end is your mom. Or, maybe your daughter.
Right.
And they sound hysterical, breathless, crying. They tell you there's been an accident, or they've been detained at a police station, or they're at a hospital and they lost their wallet.
And it really is their voice.
It's exactly their voice. You know that specific way they say your name when they're scared? You hear the pitch, you hear the panic in their breathing.
It triggers every single biological alarm bell in your body.
Exactly. So you don't even think, you just transfer the money.
And then 10 minutes later, once your heart rate finally slows down, you call them back on their regular line.
Yeah.
And they're just sitting on the couch, drinking tea, watching Netflix. They never called you. They have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
That feeling right there, that absolute violation of your senses, is where we are starting today's deep dive.
It's a dark place to start, but we have to.
We really do, because we are moving way past the era of the Nigerian prince email with the bad grammar and the promise of gold bullion. We are entering the age of hyper-realistic, AI-driven fraud.
And honestly, based on the research we've been going through, we are not ready for it.
Not even close.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to unpack this rising tide of deepfake technology and AI scams. We're going to look at the legislative response, specifically what's happening over in the Philippines.
Right, you have a fascinating new bill on the table.
They do. And then we're going to pivot to a really incredible sociological study about how young women living alone in China are physically adapting their lives to these digital threats.
That study is a masterclass in human survival. It connects high-level tech policy directly to ground-level everyday life.
100%. It's the arms race of the 21st century. So let's start with the tech itself, because I think a lot of us still think of deepfakes as those funny videos of Tom Cruise on TikTok.
Oh, right. Or the Pope in that puffy white jacket.
Yes. The puffy jacket Pope. It feels like a novelty, you know?
But that was Deepfake 1.0. We are well past the novelty phase now. The technology has evolved so fast. AI can now clone a voice from a shockingly short audio sample.
How short are we talking?
Well, we used to talk about needing hours of high-quality audio in a studio now. Some models can map your pitch, tone, and mannerisms from just a 3-second clip.
3 seconds?
3 seconds.
I mean, that's an Instagram story. That's a voicemail greeting.
Exactly. If you have any public social media profile, your voice is essentially open source data for these models. And this is what fuels phishing.
Voice phishing.
Right, voice phishing. And the truly scary part isn't just the accuracy of the voice, it's the psychological context they wrap the scam in.
Right, because they're getting smarter about the actual ask. There was that specific scenario in the Manila Bulletin article we read.
Yes, the mom calling her child.
Right, so the AI mom calls, and she isn't asking for $1 million in ransom. She's just asking for 1,000 pesos, which is what, about 20 bucks?
Give or take? Yeah.
And she says she needs it to pay a Suki vendor at the market because she forgot her wallet.
It's brilliant in a very evil way. It creates this low-stakes urgency.
Yeah, because if someone asks for $1 million, you pause, you verify.
Your skepticism circuit kicks in.
Yeah.
But if your mom calls and says, I'm so embarrassed, I'm at the market, I have no cash, just Gcash this vendor 1,000 pesos.
You just do it.
You just do it. The AI makes it sound real, and the completely mundane nature of the request makes it feel safe.
But here is where I get a little stuck. Voice is one thing. I can understand how audio can be faked from a clip, but the banking sector holds the keys to the castle.
They certainly try to.
When I use my banking app, it asks me to scan my face. It tells me to blink, look left, look right. That's liveness verification. Surely that is still secure, right? Like, if the camera sees a face moving in real time, it knows it's real.
You would hope so.
Mm-hmm.
But the sources indicate that liveness is currently being defeated.
Right.
Regularly. The research describes how fraudsters are using stolen static IDs. Literally just a photograph of your driver's license.
Yeah.
And they're using AI to animate that still photo.
Wait, back up. They are puppeteering a static photo.
Essentially, yes. They use software that maps facial landmarks onto the static image. And then they drive those landmarks using a source video. So the fraudster sits in front of their webcam and nods their head, and the software makes your stolen ID photo nod its head.
But wouldn't the banking app see that it's a recording on a screen?
Not if they use what's called an injection attack.
An injection attack? That sounds incredibly sketchy. What is that?
It's digital sleight of hand. Usually an app trusts the video feed coming directly from your phone's camera hardware.
Right.
An injection attack intercepts that signal. It feeds the pre-rendered AI-animated video directly into the app's data stream.
So the app never even looks at the real camera.
Exactly. The banking app thinks it's looking through the camera lens at a live, breathing person, but it's actually receiving a digital feed of a puppet.
That is deeply unsettling. It means the know your customer protocols that banks have spent billions on are suddenly full of holes.
And the scale is massive. Look at the data from the Philippine National Police Anti-Cybercrime Group.
The PMP-ACG?
Right. They reported over 5,000 arrests in the first half of 2025 alone linked to online crimes. And a rapidly growing slice of that is AI facilitated.
Wow.
We've even seen deepfakes targeting heads of state. They went after President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. in the Philippines, creating fake audio of him to manipulate public opinion.
Listen, if they can target a president, the average person does not stand a chance. And speaker of the average person, there is a specific demographic that kept coming up in our reading as a prime target.
Overseas Filipino workers.
Yeah.
The OFWs.
Yes, this is such a critical piece of the puzzle. OFWs are the backbone of the Philippine economy. They send billions in remittances. But sociologically, they are in a very precarious position.
They have liquidity, meaning they have cash saved up to send home.
Right.
But they're also often very isolated. They're lonely, they're missing their families, and they rely almost entirely on digital channels to maintain all their relationships.
It is the perfect storm for a scammer. You have the money and you have the emotional vulnerability.
And according to the Who's Called data we reviewed, messaging apps are the #1 channel for these scams, followed by social media and email.
So how are they hitting the OFWs specifically?
They deploy two main types of attacks. First, the investment scam. Scammers are using deepfake videos of tycoons, like the billionaire Ramon Ang, to endorse fake, high-return schemes.
I actually saw one of those. It looked exactly like a legitimate news interview.
Right. And if you're an OFW, your biggest dream is often to save enough money to finally go home and retire.
Yeah.
So seeing a recognizable, trusted business leader vouching for a platform that promises huge returns, that is incredibly persuasive. It targets their very specific hope for a better future.
And then there's the love scam,
Rose.
which, used to just be text messages.
The evolution of the romance scam is terrifying. It really is. Previously, you might spot a scammer because they would always refuse to video call. They'd say, "Oh, my camera's broken."
Right, that was the classic red flag.
Now, they want to video call you.
Because they have the filters.
Yes, they use real-time AI face filters to look like a completely different person. They can maintain a relationship for months, building trust face-to-face or, face-to-fake-face, before they finally drop the hammer and ask for money.
There was also a specific warning in the research about sisterhood agreements. What was that about?
This is a highly localized angle. Scammers are posting fake job listings that claim to be part of sisterhood agreements between a local government unit in the Philippines and a foreign counterpart.
Oh, wow. So they use official government jargon.
Exactly. It uses the language of bureaucracy to create a veneer of legitimacy for illegal recruitment.
It's predatory on every single level. So we have the tech and we have the targets. Let's talk about the defense. The Philippines is actively trying to legislate a shield against this.
Yes. House Bill Does, introduced by Representative Bernadette Dete Escudero, it's the Anti-Deepfake Personality Rights Protection Act.
Now, this is a fascinating piece of legislation because it frames the issue around something called personality rights. Unpack that for us. How is that different from, say, copyright?
Well, copyright usually protects something you create. A song, a book, a photograph.
Right. I take a photo, I own the copyright.
Exactly. Personality rights protect who you are. The bill argues that your voice, your face, your gestures, your digital likeness.
Your actual essence.
Yes, that is a form of property that you have the exclusive right to control. It's not just about defamation. It's about the unauthorized usage of your very existence.
So you can't just take my face and put it in a video without my permission, even if it's not explicitly defamatory.
Correct. The bill prohibits unauthorized creation or distribution of deepfakes if the intent is deception, defamation, or exploitation.
And it includes a mandatory labeling provision, right? Like a nutrition label for content.
Similar concept. All AI content would legally require a clear disclaimer stating that it is synthetic.
But let's be real for a second here. Legislation is slow. Technology is incredibly fast.
Always.
By the time a case actually goes to court, a deepfake video has been seen by millions of people. And if the scammer is sitting in a basement in a completely different country, does a Philippine law actually touch them?
That is the eternal problem with cybercrime. Jurisdiction. But the bill tries to address this by placing the liability on the platforms themselves.
Oh, so going after Facebook or TikTok.
Right. If a social media platform doesn't take the synthetic content down after being officially notified, they become liable. It attempts to force the tech giants to police their own backyards.
And the penalties they're proposing aren't light either.
No, they are severe. For a general violation, you're looking at 1 to 3 years imprisonment, plus fines between 500,000 to 2 million pesos. Or commercial exploitation is 1.5 to 5 years.
But there was a specific provision for sexual exploitation.
Yes, and this is highly significant. If the deepfake is used for sexual exploitation, the penalty jumps to life imprisonment, plus fines starting at a minimum of 2 million pesos.
Life imprisonment. That is a massive statement.
It shows that the legislature is viewing non-consensual deepfake pornography as a severe, life-altering crime. Digital rape is the term some legal scholars use. It destroys a person's life and reputation just as permanently as physical acts.
It is heavy, but honestly, it feels necessary given how damaging that content is. So that's the top-down approach. Laws, prisons, massive fines.
Right.
But I want to pivot to the bottom-up approach. How are actual humans dealing with this daily reality on the ground? We have this incredible paper from Arshbaf titled Participatory Threat Modeling with Chinese Young Women Living Alone.
This was the absolute highlight of the reading for me.
Same. So it focuses on a demographic often called YWLA, young women living alone. There are about 40 million of them in China. And the study looks at how they adapt to threats in a society that has a very specific guardianship gap.
The guardianship gap. It's a vital concept here. It refers to the perceived vulnerability of a woman living without a traditional male protector, like a father or a husband, in a patriarchal society.
Because they live alone, they are seen as having a gap in their safety net.
Exactly. And digital platforms are actively exploiting that gap.
One of the things that really stood out to me was the threat of digitally facilitated physical violence. Because we usually think of cybercrime as staying inside the computer.
For these women, the digital and physical worlds are dangerously linked. Think about food delivery or ride-sharing apps. A delivery driver gets your exact address and phone number from the app.
That's digital data.
Right. But if he decides to use that data to stalk you or harass you or show up at your door, it immediately becomes a physical threat. The study highlighted how maintenance workers and delivery drivers constantly bridge that gap.
And there was this unique twist on the deepfake scam that they called filial piety scams. This honestly broke my heart a little bit.
It is a profound cultural twist. These young women aren't just afraid of being scammed out of their own money. They are terrified that scammers will use deepfakes of them to trick their parents.
Right, because they're living far away from home in the big city.
Exactly. The scammer calls the parents, using the daughter's voice and face, acting as if she's in danger or kidnapped. And the parents, driven by love and sheer panic, pay up instantly. The women feel this massive, crushing burden to protect their parents from their own digital likeness.
So how are they fighting back? Because this is where the study got incredibly creative. They're leaning heavily into smart homes, right?
Yes, cameras, smart locks, video doorbells, they literally call them digital guardians. It's technology replacing the traditional male protector. But the researchers found a massive irony here.
The spy in the house.
Exactly. To be safe from physical intruders, they install these interior and exterior cameras. But often, the landlords or the rental platforms like Z-Room have administrative access to those device logs and feeds. So in trying to shut out strangers, they might be letting their landlords spy on their every move. It is a terrifying double-edged sword.
But my favorite part of the study, and I use the word favorite loosely because it's sad that it's even necessary, is the concept of performing masculinity.
It is a sociological goldmine. These women are proactively simulating a male presence in their homes to deter attacks.
We're talking physical props.
Physical props, leaving a pair of large, muddy men's shoes outside the front door, playing recordings of deep male voices coughing or talking inside the apartment when a delivery driver knocks.
And digital drag, that term cracked me up, but it's brilliant.
Digital drag is fascinating. It's not just physical props at the door, it's how they act online. They use Mr. Polyphon in their ride-hailing app profiles.
But they also change how they type, right? How do you type like a man?
According to the participants, they consciously drop polite particles. They stop using emojis entirely. They use aggressive or chaotic typing styles in their chats with service workers.
That's wild.
They make very distinct, blunt punctuation choices, all to curate a digital persona that screams, "There's an aggressive man here. Do not mess with me."
That is incredible adaptability. It's literal digital camouflage.
It truly is. They are also using what the study calls anti-algorithm tactics. They consciously avoid clicking on safety-related videos or crime news.
Wait, why? Wouldn't you want to be as informed as possible about local threats?
You'd think so, but the algorithm feeds purely on engagement. If you watch one video about a stalker, the algorithm fills your entire feed with stories of murder, assault, and home invasions.
Oh, it creates an echo chamber of anxiety.
Exactly, it paralyzes them with fear. So they actively trick the algorithm by scrolling past safety videos to protect their mental peace.
And when all the tech fails, there's the Peachwood sword.
Yes, the return to folk beliefs. Using traditional talismans for psychological comfort. It just shows that when technology fails you and the law feels impossibly distant, people reach for whatever gives them a sense of control, whether that is a smart camera or a magical charm.
That makes total sense. So bringing it all back to you listening right now, we've covered the tech, the scams, the laws, the sociology. What can you actually do today?
The sources gave us some excellent practical defense tips. The cybersigrista mindset.
Sigarista. I love that term.
It implies someone who makes sure. Someone who is always prudent and double checks. The number one tip, and this is low-tech brilliance, is establishing a secret question.
Like a safe word or a password for your family.
Precisely. But it has to be highly specific. It cannot be, what's the dog's name?
Because that's already on your Instagram.
Right, the scammers already scraped that. It needs to be strictly offline knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, how old was I when I fell off the brick wall? Or what did we eat for dinner the night you graduated?
I really love that. You should establish it at dinner tonight. Just tell your family, if I ever call you begging for emergency bail money, I'm going to say banana pancake. And if I don't say banana pancake, hang up immediately.
Exactly, just hang up. Another great tactic for video calls is the face touch.
This exploits a weakness in the AI tech, right?
Yes. Current real-time deepfake technology, especially the consumer-grade stuff that most of these scammers are running, often struggles with obstructions.
Meaning what exactly?
Anything passing between the camera lens and the face. If you are on a video call and you even slightly suspect it's a deepfake, ask the person to wave their hand horizontally in front of their face, or ask them to turn their head side to side a few times.
And what happens?
The AI often glitches. The face might blur, or the digital mask might physically slip for a split second when the hand passes over it, revealing the scammer underneath.
That is a phenomenal practical tip. Have them wave at themselves. And of course, we have to mention basic financial hygiene.
Two-factor authentication on absolutely everything. Do not click links in SMS messages, and you have to verify URLs carefully. The Maya Bank article pointed out homograph attacks.
What is a homograph attack?
It's a visual trick. Scammers use characters that look exactly like Latin letters, but they aren't. For example, they might use a Cyrillic letter A or the Greek alpha symbol inside the word PayPal.
Oh, wow.
To your human eye, it reads paypal.com. To the computer, it is a completely different website designed solely to steal your login credentials.
That is so incredibly sneaky. So the rule is never click the link, always type the banking address yourself.
Always. And remember, there are institutions actively trying to help. In the Philippines, there is the Interagency Response Center, the IARC. The hotline is 1326.
Good to know. 1326.
And the Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center, the CICC, is acquiring a 2 million peso AI tool that can detect deepfakes within 30 seconds. So the government is gearing up for the fight.
So we really are in this massive arms race. On one side, AI deception is getting better, it's getting faster, and it's getting much cheaper.
Yeah.
On the other side, we have Representative Escudera's bill, we have 30-second detection tools, and we have young women in China putting men's muddy shoes outside their apartment doors.
It is a constant, exhausting game of cat and mouse. But if we pull back and connect all of this to the bigger picture, there's something profound we really need to consider. We so often rush to technology as the ultimate solution to our safety. We buy the smart camera, we download the newest AI detection app. But look closely at the case of the women living alone. The very technology they bought for their safety, the smart home, became a major privacy vulnerability, a way for landlords to silently watch them.
That's a really good point. We are solving one problem, but simultaneously creating a brand new one.
It raises a vital question for all of us. As we rush to legislate personality rights and build expensive AI detectors, are we actually addressing the root cause, which is a fundamental, widening trust gap in society?
Or are we just patching the digital cracks?
Exactly. We are building higher and higher digital walls, but are we actually any safer inside them?
That is definitely something for you to mull over the next time you look at your video doorbell. Is it watching out for you or is it watching you?
It's a chilling thought.
It really is. Well, that is all for this deep dive. Stay safe, stay skeptical, and please go set up that secret family password tonight.
And maybe keep a pair of men's shoes by the door, just in case.
Hey, it couldn't hurt. Thanks for listening.